A lot of expensive RV plumbing problems start with one simple mistake: putting the wrong stuff into the wrong tank. In this video, we'll cover what should never go into your black, gray, and fresh water tanks, and the small habits that keep valves, seals, sensors, and hoses from turning into a repair bill. Number 1. Tank basics that prevent mistakes. In most RVs, you're dealing with three separate systems: the freshwater tank, clean water you drink and wash with; the gray tank, used water from sinks and the shower; and the black tank, toilet waste. Some rigs also have a separate galley tank for the kitchen sink, and that one can get gross fast because food and grease don't behave like normal soap and water. RV plumbing is smaller than a house system, and it's built around holding, not endless flow. Everything you send down a drain has to pass through tight bends, rubber seals, vent lines, level sensors, and a dump valve that slides open and closed. If you have a macerator, there's also an impeller and blades in the mix. Those parts don't like rags, grit, or sticky sludge. The other difference is time. Waste can sit warm for days, so anything that separates, hardens, or coats surfaces will eventually cause odors, false sensor readings, and slow dumping. That's why two simple rules save you money. Don't use any tank as a trash can, and don't treat the system like it can handle anything. If it won't break down in water quickly, don't flush it. If it's a harsh chemical you wouldn't want sitting in warm plastic for days, don't pour it in. And if it can harden, clump, or turn sticky, keep it out. Problems usually show up as a slow drain, a stuck valve, or a smell that won't go away. And by then, the fix can mean pulling a toilet, replacing seals, or dropping a tank. With that baseline, the black tank is where the most expensive mistakes start, because one bad flush can clog a valve or build a pile that won't slide out when you dump. If you hear advice like, "Just pour something strong in there and it will dissolve everything," remember most RV tanks are plastic and the sealing surfaces are rubber. They don't like corrosion, and the dump valve opening is relatively small, so anything that turns into chunks or paste will eventually find that narrow exit and cause trouble. Number 2. Black tank. Items that don't break down. The black tank is not a septic system that digests waste on its own. It's a holding tank that needs water to move solids. So the biggest don't is anything that doesn't break down fast in water. Wipes are at the top of the list, even the ones labeled flushable. In RV plumbing, they can bunch up, snag on the gate valve, and form a rope-like clog that's hard to clear without taking things apart. Also keep out paper towels, napkins, shop towels, facial tissues, disinfecting wipes, cotton swabs, dental floss, and anything stringy like long hair. Feminine hygiene products, diapers, condoms, and bandage wrappers belong in the trash, not the toilet. Another repair trigger is using chemical toilet tablets or drop-ins that are made for home toilets. Some contain strong cleaners that can dry out the bowl seal, damage gaskets, and shorten the life of the valve seals. Even with toilet paper, don't assume thicker is better. If it's super plush or designed to be extra strong, it may not break down quickly. Use paper that breaks apart in water, and use a reasonable amount. Avoid adding anything that creates grit or sludge, cat litter, clumping powders, or heavy odor crystals that don't fully dissolve. Those can settle on the tank floor and pack into the valve opening. Food and grease are also a no. It sounds harmless because it's organic, but grease floats, then sticks, and small food bits can join it and build a sticky layer that traps odors. Finally, don't send solids down the toilet with too little water.
Skimping on water is how people create a hard pile under the toilet opening that stays put even when you dump.
The black tank works best when it's mostly liquid inside, so avoid anything that behaves like a rag, a string, sand, or dry paste. People also try to help by flushing powders like laundry boosters, water softener crystals, or abrasive cleaners into the black tank. Those can clump, settle, and leave gritty residue that holds onto waste. If you want a cleaner tank, you're better off with water and RV safe treatments, not powders that were designed for laundry or scrubbing surfaces. Another thing to keep out is medication and chemical liquids like strong mouthwash or large amounts of disinfectant. Beyond disposal concerns, they can disrupt the natural breakdown in the tank and make odors worse once the perfume fades. Number 3. Gray tank. Grease, grit, and buildup. Gray tanks get ignored because the water looks cleaner, but they can clog faster than the black tank, especially if your kitchen sink drains into the gray or galley tank. The biggest enemies here are fats, oils, and grease. Don't pour cooking oil, butter drippings, greasy pan rinse water, or creamy sauces down the sink. Hot water might move grease for a moment, but once it cools, it coats the pipes and the tank like wax. That coating traps food particles and turns into a sticky layer that smells. Next are solids that swell or pack down: rice, pasta, flour, mashed potato water, oatmeal, and anything starchy. Coffee grounds and eggshell bits are also bad because they don't dissolve, they settle, build up, and can block the dump outlet or a macerator pump if you have one. Strong-smelling liquids can be a surprise too. Don't dump large amounts of old cooking broth or spoiled liquids into the gray tank because they can sour fast in warm weather and make odors travel through the vents. In the bathroom side, don't send clumps of hair, heavy sand, or gritty dirt into the gray tank.
Hair forms mats that catch soap scum, and grit settles like sediment. Avoid dumping paint rinse water, drywall dust, grout, or adhesive residue into an RV sink. Those products are made to harden, and they can coat sensors and make the dump valve sticky. Also avoid pouring harsh cleaners into the gray tank to fix a slow drain. If the P-trap or the vent is the issue, chemicals won't solve it, and they can damage seals. Soaps are fine in normal amounts, but avoid pouring big doses of concentrated dish soap, laundry detergent, or fabric softener into the drains. Heavy suds can make dumping messy, leave residue behind, and can push foam up vent lines. Treat the gray tank like a small drain system on a boat. Only water, normal soap use, and tiny food bits that can't be caught. Nothing chunky, greasy, gritty, or hardening. If you have a washing machine hookup, or you do small loads in the RV, be careful what ends up in the gray tank. Powdered detergents that don't dissolve well, heavy fabric softeners, and scent boosters can leave a waxy film that coats tank walls and sensors. That film is one reason gray tanks start reading full when they're not. It also gives odor-causing buildup something to stick to, especially in hot climates. Number 4. Chemicals to keep out of the tanks. Many expensive repairs start with someone trying to fix a smell or a slow drain by pouring in something aggressive. Home drain openers are a no. Products based on strong lye or strong acids can damage rubber seals, soften plastic parts, and generate heat that isn't friendly to RV plumbing. Bleach and ammonia-based cleaners also don't belong in the holding tanks in large amounts. A small amount from routine cleaning is usually fine, but dumping big doses into a tank can dry out seals and shorten the life of valves and gaskets. And never mix cleaners in a tank or in a drain. Combinations like bleach and ammonia can create dangerous fumes. Keep out solvents and petroleum products too. Paint thinner, acetone, gasoline, diesel, motor oil, transmission fluid, and fuel additives. Those can damage hoses, swell seals, and create disposal problems at dump stations. The same warning goes for pesticides, pool chemicals, and strong degreasers. Anything labeled corrosive, flammable, or toxic is not something you want sitting in your tanks or being dumped into a campground septic. Tank deodorizers are another area where stronger isn't better. Treatments that rely on heavy perfume or very harsh biocides may stop odor for a short time, but they can also slow natural breakdown and leave residue that coats the tank walls and sensors. If you camp in places with septic-style dump systems, harsh chemicals can also create issues for the system downstream, which is why some parks prefer septic-safe products. If you're dealing with a real clog, don't try to melt it with chemicals. Mechanical clearing, warm water, and RV-safe treatments are safer for your RV, safer for dump station equipment, and usually work better than turning the tank into a chemistry experiment. It's also smart to avoid anything that claims to strip or etch buildup, unless it's clearly labeled safe for RV holding tanks. Some aggressive cleaners can dull plastic, weaken seals, and create more places for waste to cling. If you need a deeper clean, focus on time and soaking with lots of water, then a thorough rinse instead of trying to dissolve everything instantly. Number 5. Freshwater tank. What to never add. The freshwater tank is different from the holding tanks, but don't put random stuff in it matters even more because it connects to what you drink. Avoid anything that isn't specifically meant for potable water systems. That means no household cleaners, no scented disinfectants, no splashless or gel-style bleach, and no color-safe bleach with extra additives.
If you sanitize the fresh tank, use the method your RV manual or water filter maker recommends, and stick with products intended for drinking water systems, because the goal is clean lines without damaging rubber parts or leaving a smell behind. Also, avoid pouring drink mixes, sugar-based flavor packets, or cooking ingredients into the fresh tank. Sugars and flavors can feed bacteria and leave sticky residue that's hard to flush out of lines and faucets. Don't add water softener salt, random essential oils, or homemade mixtures hoping they'll keep the tank fresh. They can create tastes, leave film, and sometimes swell seals or O-rings. Winterizing is another area where people contaminate the fresh side. Never use automotive antifreeze anywhere in an RV water system. Only use RV/marine antifreeze that is labeled non-toxic for plumbing. And even then, remember it's not meant to be consumed. After winterizing, flush and sanitize before drinking from the system again. Be careful with the water heater too. Avoid pouring harsh descalers or cleaners into it, unless they're approved for your specific heater type, because some heaters use different metals, and the wrong chemical can cause corrosion or damage an anode rod. Finally, avoid cross-contamination. Don't let a sewer hose, rinse hose, or campground spigot nozzle touch your fresh hose or fill port. Using a dedicated potable water hose and keeping caps on it sounds simple, but it prevents a lot of gross problems. Number 6. Dumping habits that damage valves. Even if you never flush the wrong item, you can still create problems by how you dump and rinse. Don't leave the black tank valve open at a full hookup site. Liquids will run out and solids can pile up, making the tank harder to empty and more likely to clog later. Don't leave the gray valve open all the time either if your kitchen drains into it, because residue can dry onto the walls
and the open sewer hose can let odors travel back.
At the dump station, don't try to blast the system with extreme pressure. Avoid pressure washers, compressed air, or metal snakes pushed through the toilet because it's easy to damage seals, crack plastic fittings, or puncture a tank wall. If you use a built-in black tank flush, don't walk away from it. Overfilling can send water where you don't want it, including up into the bathroom. Also, skip gimmicks like dumping a bag of ice into the black tank as your main cleaning plan. Ice melts fast, it doesn't scrub evenly, and it can move debris into the valve area at the worst time. When you're trying to rinse sensors or remove buildup, don't pour in harsh cleaners to strip the tank. Use water, proper dumping order, black first, then gray, and time. Don't cap the sewer outlet and try to soak under pressure unless the equipment is designed for it, because pressure can push waste back toward seals and fittings. One more mistake is dumping the wrong stuff just because it's liquid. Leftover paint, solvents, fuel, or oily shop water needs proper disposal, not a dump station. Dump stations are designed for human waste and normal wash water, not for chemicals, fuels, or construction materials. Keeping those out protects your RV, protects the equipment at the dump station, and keeps you from turning a simple maintenance task into a repair bill. When you're done dumping, don't store the tanks bone dry. A completely dry black tank lets leftover solids bake onto the walls and around the valve. Keeping a little water in the bottom helps prevent a sticky mess on the next trip and makes treatments work the way they're meant to.